Right, so you're still watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Now, don't forget you can follow us on our social media, and I say all, News Central TV. And also wondering what I'm doing here. Yes, I'm here because Sam Dandy has decided to take over the seat in the studio. Meanwhile, Oluchi is busy still having a breakfast at some corner, not too far from me. Oluchi, is it hot? All right, just stand by. Right, Sam Dandy, good morning to you. Today's entertainment, and you really have quite a charming guest, I have to say. So tell us all about it, Sam. Take it away.
All right, so let me be honest first. Let me admit that, in fact, it feels good to be seated here, Oluchi and Olisa. But yeah, of course, I do have a guest with me in the studio. I have award-winning Nigerian movie actor and producer, Temitope Tedela. And we're going to be discussing telling the African stories through movies. Now, I'm delighted to have you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I know you have a film. You are in a film that's dropping today.
Yeah.
But let's not rush. Let's go down memory lane, right? So in 2013, your breakout role in a movie titled A Mile from Home.
Yeah.
You know, that gave you 5 wins, 4 nominations, you know, and an EMVCA for Best Actor. Tell me, what about that story? What about that film, you know, was so important? What resonated with so many people and yourself?
That's an interesting question. When I read the script, at the end of the day, it's just a story about redemption. You know what I mean? Sometimes you make mistakes, you go down routes in life you didn't think you would go down through. Different things happen to you, and you make certain choices that lead you down a path that almost destroys your life. And there was an opportunity for this guy to take an alternative route, and he did. And you know, he came out sort of a winner. It was scarred, but he came out a winner. So I guess that resonated with people. And on top of that, it was, you know, like an action type of film, and it was done pretty decently at the time. So I think people just loved the entirety of the film and the performance.
Let me ask you. So it was your breakout film, quite right, 2013, and then you won. How did that feel? How did that feel winning?
It was surreal. It was surreal because the film was just us coming together to do something, and it was. I didn't expect it. You get what I mean? So to date, I'm really grateful because it really took me on an interesting path. It's taken me on an interesting path.
Right.
So yeah.
So of course that has passed, and of course you've been in a couple of movies, a ton of movies in fact up until date. You've been in Country Hard, you've been in Ojikokoro, you've been in a couple of films. What do you think has changed in Hollywood between, you know, times like 2013 and between now 2021? What do you think has changed?
I think generally as filmmakers we're getting a bit more daring. We're trying to cultivate the taste palettes of the audiences. I mean, people say that people like comedy a lot, and that is true. I like comedy. Everybody likes to have a good laugh, but we're venturing into territories that are not particularly comedy.
Right.
You know, we're doing some action, we're doing some sci-fi, we're doing some thrillers, and you know, some supernatural horror type movies, and it's just in a bid to have a more robust film industry that, you know, different taste buds can have something to eat, so to speak.
Quickly, still talking about the industry, what are you expecting to see change? What more are you looking forward to?
Well, I'll just hope for a bit of more structure on different levels, both in terms of welfare packages for performers and crew members, actors, everybody, and just also like structure in terms of like distribution.
Right.
How what we create eventually gets to the audiences, in terms of cinema houses, transparency in how numbers are computed, and just many other things. But I think we're on the road, and
right, I agree, we're on the road.
Yeah, I think we're on the road.
Let me ask now, in recent times we've seen Hollywood try to adapt many African stories. In fact, one of the biggest is Black Panther, you know. Talking about Africa now, in fact, Disney did reveal that they have plans to do an animation, you know, talking about the futuristic Africa. Now, what do you think about this? Do you think they're in some form exploiting Africa, or do you think it's a way to tell our story?
I mean, what system of I don't know, is this system of government? I can't remember. I don't know the term to use, but what is the world built on? It's built on capitalism, and largely that is really about who has the money,
right,
so to speak, to make things happen. You know what I mean? So that is happening. Is it exploitation? Maybe, you know, I guess it is in some shape or form, but maybe we also, African media conglomerate should also put their money where their mouth is,
Right.
in a certain way. But that being said, I think that we're gradually telling, those stories that we tell African stories. Because also a question that I ask is, what is an African story? You get what I mean? And okay, what was the origin of film? Where did film come from? Like, if you really want to trace the roots, the foundation of, or the history of film and cinema, where did it come from and all. So if this thing originated in a certain place, maybe during the World War I or World War II, and film, you get what I mean?
Right.
And then now we're making films. Are we exploiting that medium? So there are many stories, and they're just the way I look at these things and all. But yeah, we're telling the African stories.
That's right. That's right. Well, Lisa, I think Lisa has a question. Or do you have a question for our guest?
Of course, sure, Sam. Yeah, you've got quite an amazing guest, actor, producer, Tedela. Quite an honor to get you right here on Breakfast Central. All right, so we'll take a quick break before I give that question because it has to do with the movie that is dropping today. So just hold on. All right, you're still watching Breakfast Central on News Central, and we've got, multiple actor and award-winning writer, producer, Temitope Tedela in the studio, right there, the main studio with Sam Dandy. Oh my God, Sam Dandy, enjoy it.
I know, I stole your job.
All right, Temitope, quickly, your film drops today. That's Finding Hobby. Starring the likes of Ade Laole, Kehinde Bankole. Tell us about, the character you play and what we should expect from this movie.
I play a pastor in this film.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And to be quite honest, sometimes I really don't like. I like playing roles that, because I'm quite a calm human being. So when it comes to work, I like to play stuff that is a bit like far from that. But so this particular film, when I got the script, I'm like, oh gosh, this is something that wouldn't be so difficult to do, so to speak. All due respect, but I really enjoyed working on it. It's a romantic comedy that I think would resonate with people, especially in Africa, where there's a lot of pressure on women to do this, even men to get married, to do this, to do that. It's a really interesting take on that subject matter, and it's just going to be fun, really fun one. So yeah, Finding Hobby out today. Watch.
All right, so that's a rom-com for me to catch. I love rom-coms, and
you do?
It's my favorite genre.
You don't look like it, but
I would have thought you like Avengers, but okay.
Yeah, apart from that, love, happiness, happy endings,
Okay.
and Temitope gets it. He gets it.
Right.
All right, so back to you, Sam.
All right, so lastly, let me ask, what's your big dream, right? You've had movies that premiered all across the world, right? Canada. What's your big dream? What are you yet to do?
What am I yet to do? Funnily enough, what I'm yet to do is not particularly in movies. But for movies, I'd like to work globally, really and truly, work with, some of the world's acclaimed directors. That would be really, really cool to do. And, I think it's going to happen sooner than later.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. But I'll also like to record an album, actually.
Music?
Yeah, I'd like to record an album.
Wait, hold up. You do music?
In my spare time, yes.
In your spare time?
Yes.
When did that start? I have so many questions in my head.
No, that started a long time ago. So in my spare time, I play the guitar, I play piano, I compose stuff that, never really goes anywhere, maybe stays on my phone or my computer. So I'm just thinking, why not share this with the world?
Okay.
It may not be perfect, but yeah.
I might just be your first big fan. All right, thank you so much for being on Breakfast with us.
No problem at all.
All right.
All right.
Please stick around with us until the show.